if you can put these together in the correct way, you'll be okay with all the investments you make in the Dubai market. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So guys, what I want to do, I want to give you an hour, perhaps an hour and a half, perhaps a 2 hour, sort of like a master class on how you may be able to come into the Dubai market and be able to invest in an off-plan property. Off-plan means under construction. The reason I want to do this, I want to share as much information as possible without hiding anything, without keeping anything, so that you, if you wish to do this yourself, you should be able to have enough methodologies, systems, information in place so that you can actually go through and do what you need to do, okay? Now, please be aware that I am not selling you an off-plan property or an under construction property, okay? The entire idea of this is the knowledge that I have based on my 15 plus years of experience helping hundreds and hundreds of investors go through hundreds of transactions, if not thousands. Why don't I share it with you in one concise place so that if somebody wants to benefit from this, go through the entire process, and they feel comfortable doing it themselves, then Bismillah, by all means, go and do it, right? I don't want to go away from this world with this knowledge just with me, okay? So it should be available to other advisors who are willing to follow the system. It should be available to other investors who want to implement this system, okay? So I'm coming from a place of let's share everything so that if you can actually utilize it and invest in the Dubai market successfully, good for you. If you want to work with us, that's a separate topic, okay? You can get in touch with us, okay? So look, my story in Dubai real estate, my experience starts from 2007, 2008, okay? I was already doing a little bit of real estate in Toronto, Canada. And then by 2008, 2007, 2008, when I was back in Dubai, I was born and raised in Dubai, but when I was back in Dubai in 2007, 2008, I saw this massive hype in Dubai. Like everybody, their brother, their mother, their grandfather, their granddaughter, nephew, niece, auntie, uncle was either involved in real estate, means that they were investing in real estate, or they were selling real estate. Like it was a very surreal time when you came into Dubai at that time. Like I remember the local newspaper used to be this thick, okay? And it was this thick with actual advertisements that were in that newspaper of property launch, event, so on and so forth, okay? The idea for this masterclass is for you to be able to use this exact system that I've used out of the pain that I had back in 2008 and be able to implement it for your own benefit, okay? So a little bit of background on myself. Look, I'm fourth generation in Dubai. My family's fourth generation in Dubai. I've been doing this for 15 plus years, but I didn't always start like this, okay? So when I started with my partner back in 2008 in real estate. So 2007, I'm looking at everything that's happening. My father's involved in real estate. I'm going to some new developments in Dubai, which are just about handing over. And these places look amazing, but a little bit like a ghost town because like 27,000 apartments were getting delivered in Dubai. Like for me, 2007, I'd never seen something like a big community with 27,000 apartments, and all these buildings were brand spanking new, but it was a ghost town because people had not taken their keys and they had not started moving in yet, right? But then here comes my partner who was from the US. I might be 25, 26, he was 50, 55. And we both started a real estate company, a brokerage company. And we saw that there were people who were investing in Dubai real estate, and on the face of it, like on the surface, it seemed like they were making money. Like they had the Mont Blanc pen, they had the cars. And so me and my partner said, okay, why don't we invest in real estate as well, okay? And this is a story that it's very relevant for you. It's a story of a little bit of pain, but then it's relevant for you. Why you've got to understand is because why I go towards an organized system rather than doing things haphazardly, because I, with my partner, got quite severely burned in the very early days, okay? Back in the day, the trick was to get involved or get invited to something called a launch event, okay? What's a launch event? A launch event is a property launch event organized by a developer or a builder in Dubai, okay? A developer is also a builder in Dubai. And the idea for this event is for this property launch event, the idea is for a lot of people to come there and ideally speaking, make a lot of bookings, which means like, you buy a lot of property, the developer then the next day will announce that everything's sold out and everybody's super happy. And back in 2008, 2007, 6, 5, a lot of underhanded deals used to happen. Like for instance, you would see a developer announce a property launch event, let's say next week, but before the launch event takes place, or at the launch event, they might throw a party, there might be some entertainment and good food, but at the event, they'll just tell you like everything's sold out. And this was not all gimmickry. In reality, sometimes things would actually be sold out as well. Why? Because people would, big investors, like we talk multi-millionaire, maybe perhaps billionaire investors, would approach the developer and say, look, just sell us all the stock that you have in the building, because those investors could then resell the stock at a higher price after a month or 2 months or 3 months. So in some cases, the developer would be like, okay, why do we have to go through the process of selling it to individual people one by one? We'll just sell it, the whole building, to one person in one shot, right? So in a market like this, it just seemed like the obvious thing for even us to do. My partner had about $500,000 dirhams or dollars, and I was a partner with him in the company. So we said, okay, like, I don't know if it was all from, it was meant to happen, and we're seeing other people making money, and we're like, why don't we do the same thing, right? It just made obvious sense. So what we did was, we got ourselves, like I did some maneuvering, and I got ourselves invited to a launch event. Like I still remember this was a launch event with one of the top developers in Dubai, because my partner, who was a very experienced consultant, he always used to say like, look, we'll only invest with the top government developers. And so we said, okay, let's get invited. And I maneuvered around, and alhamdulillah, I got invited to a launch event of this developer. And I still remember our appointment was like 8 a.m., but we were there at 7 a.m., early morning, looking to get in, get ready, buy the best unit. But something interesting happened. Like they never opened the doors for us. So 8 a.m. became 9 a.m., then became 10 a.m., and the doors are still closed. So we're thinking, okay, why aren't they opening the doors for us? And my partner, who was a little bit older, 50 plus, he started getting annoyed, agitated, and he started like, okay, he does a little bit of, looking behind the corners and behind the tents. And then he comes to and like, they're actually selling the good units to their own family and friends, like the CEO, the CMO, and whatever. We finally get in around 10:30, 11, and I still remember the surprised look on my face when I get in with my partner, and I see like, I don't know, 100, 150 people already inside the sales center. Like, wow, okay. We finally get in. I still remember I meet a couple of people who I knew from back in Toronto, Canada. They were there, and a young sales lady approaches us and then she says, look, you've got a choice. I've got these 5 units available or 6 units available or something like that. You can make a choice now. Or she just said, look, all of her sales friends who are also selling, okay, in about half an hour, those units will be sold out. And then the only choice you'll have is either you will be left with nothing to choose from, or we might release more units at a higher price. So me and my partner, under that pressure scenario, my partner was the main decision maker, right? I was the minority partner in this. We buy a unit. In fact, we did 2 apartments like that. And both the launch events was similarly dramatic, chaotic, crowds pushing. We barely, like one of them, we barely got, like I still remember me getting squeezed into the door by people. Like we have an 8 o'clock appointment and everybody's like, we don't care. We're getting in, right? Who cares about your appointment, right? And so we did 2 apartments like this. And so we had more than $500,000 dirham already invested at 10%, right? These were off-plan assets. Okay, sounds all right. Now, my partner, he had like this thing that we would sell these apartments at 30% profit on the total price, even though we had only paid 10% of the total price of the apartments. And me being the junior partner with less knowledge, less expertise, I was like, fine, like, you know better. Let's do what we gotta do, and let's do what you say we gotta do, okay? I don't have much say, so I'm cool. We're fine, right? Cool, no problem. We bought these apartments in April, May, June, July. August came around. Like, you know, I went away. My partner went away. 2008, August. By the time we come back, September, October hit. And then the 2008 global financial crisis is like finally in Dubai, right? Like everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? Like, so these apartments that we could have sold, we were selling, we were wanting to sell. Now it's like, bomb. Like we can't even sell these apartments anymore, right? My partner had children. I had recently got married at that time. So what he does is, like, of course, we stayed the course for another 6-7 months, but we couldn't sell. And in the end, by mid-2009, he had to literally pack up his bags and leave Dubai. Like, he was a US citizen, so, you know, he could just take his kids there. Schooling's free, education's easier. He had a house there, so on and so forth. Me, I move in with my parents' house. I move my spouse into her parents' house. And then we're like, okay, we're going to start now rebuilding, okay? We're going to start rebuilding now, okay? So that's fine. We start slowly, and I'm left with these apartments that now nobody's buying. But you know, something very unique happened. 2009, I'm back in the market. I'm looking at the market. And then I started realizing, why is it that there are other people who've made money? And look, this is not something I realized at that time, but I realize it now, sitting in 2025 or 2024. You know, the reason that people were able to make money, and take note of this, okay? Now, this is the main important thing, is because they have knowledge. Now, these 3 ingredients, if you can put these together in the correct way, you'll be okay with all the investments you make in the Dubai market. They have knowledge, okay? Local expertise and a system. Now, what do I mean by knowledge? Okay, what do I mean by knowledge? Okay, knowledge is to do with obviously local market knowledge of Dubai. Like, you can have general knowledge about Dubai, but to have local specific market knowledge of Dubai, of what is what and what is where, is very important for you. Okay. 2 is to have expertise, like in business and real estate. Now, you can have general expertise in real estate and business because you may be an investor in other areas of the world, which is good. But then you've got to have local market expertise as well. It's kind of like, it's a good thing, because here's the thing, and here's the thing that I found with investors. you've got general knowledge of Dubai, but not local specialized knowledge, and you're able to know that, look, you don't have that knowledge, then you can ask for help from other places. Similarly, if you don't have local expertise of real estate in Dubai and how it operates, then you'll know that you don't have this and you're going to go and get it, okay? And last but not the least is to use a system, step-by-step system, and I'll show you the system that I use. Okay, there's about 5 processes, right? When I'm working with my investors, I'm anchoring the middle, right? It's my 15 years of experience and knowledge. And then other people, they're right there who are helping me with the other processes, okay? It's very, very critical, okay? So you got to have these 3 things which are super important for you to be able to invest with confidence in Dubai and specifically off plan, okay? Have knowledge, local knowledge, have expertise, local expertise. You can have general expertise about real estate and business expertise, but it's very important to have local expertise, and then have a system that works, okay? These 3 things. And now I'm going to just go into a little bit more before I get into the actual steps, okay? Because when I'm working with an investor, yes, I'm there as the expert, but then there's actual steps that I undertake. So if you follow these steps, if you do your 100% to follow these steps and you're able to follow these steps 50%, you're going to have at least an 80% chance of succeeding in the Dubai market, okay? Now you need a system, right? System. The system is anchored by local knowledge and local expertise. Now, the thing is, if you don't have that, you can still get access to it. The thing is, if you don't have that, just know that as a limitation that you need that. So as you go implementing the system, pick up that knowledge as you go. The danger is when you don't have that system and that knowledge, and then you think that you have it. That's the problem. So keep a little bit of an open mindset and try to pick up the knowledge as you go. I think you should read 2 books. Okay, but yeah, I've written these books. Okay, this is a book I wrote in 2016. Now, I am by no means professing that these are amazing bestseller books that are going to tell you about Dubai real estate in its entirety, and you will not need to do anything else, okay? This is a book I wrote in 2016, The Intelligent Real Estate Investor, and this is a book I wrote in 2023, okay? This is a light-hearted read, okay? It's more light-hearted. This is more succinctly put together to actually do your investments. I would say read both. Now the thing is, neither of these are going to make you experts. Okay, guys, listen, I'm being very honest. I hope this video helps you to be able to invest in the Dubai real estate market. When it comes to knowledge and expertise, start your foundation of knowledge and expertise with things like this, okay? Will these make you an absolute expert? No. Will this give you all the knowledge that you need? No. But it will start giving you foundational knowledge of the way that sometimes an expert might think. Am I the only best expert? No, but I do believe that I know a thing or two about Dubai real estate, having done so for 15 plus years, okay? This is a good start, okay? Don't get too bogged down in this. Start implementing the system and you'll start learning as you go. Now, there are a couple of different types of knowledge that you will need to gain as you go through the process. You won't have it in the beginning, okay? There is obviously the market knowledge, okay? And I will explain the market knowledge when I help you develop the strategy for yourself, okay? There is the different types of locations in Dubai, okay? There are the micro trends and the macro trends in these areas. There is legal knowledge that you should know what an escrow account is, what is RERA, Real Estate Regulatory Agency, what is DLD, Dubai Land Department, and what are the processes. Now here's the thing, you're not going to learn all these processes before you start buying your property because it's just there's too much information and you don't have that knowledge expertise. But as you're going, you start building this foundation. Okay, you'll start building understanding on financial knowledge. Okay, what are payment plans, what's ROI calculations, how you go about doing this, and I'll talk about this when I am doing the property selection phase. Okay, some of the mistakes that you would like to, of course, avoid is just blindly using other concepts from other markets and bringing them to the Dubai market. That's not the best way to do about this. Okay, you should rather just follow the systematic approach that I'm going to define for you and just go step by step. Okay, like you will not be able to gain all the knowledge. That's why I'm saying, like, look, read these 2 books. It gives you a foundational principle. Okay, and then just follow the system. And as you're following the system, you will be able to gain a lot more knowledge because you're following the system. Okay, and I'll explain to you when you're following the system what you do at every stage so that you'll be able to gain more information and be able to guide yourself better to the best possible off-plan investment for you. One of the things I would say to you is, look, this one has a lot of topics. Okay, so if you go to the index or table of contents, you can see a lot. Each of these will also have videos in my YouTube channel. Like, it's if you think about how to take advantage of downward markets, why you need to double check while buying off-plan property, how to get access to distressed deals in real estate, so on and so forth. These YouTube videos are available. Okay, this video is going to be, I don't want to make it too long, but if you want to go deeper to get knowledge and expertise, you can. But understand that you need knowledge, understand that you need expertise, bless you, and then use the system to be able to come up to speed to it. Okay, in part 2, I'm going to explain how you start with the first step of the system. All right, remember to hit the like, subscribe and bell icon, and obviously share this with others who want this benefit.